Okay, Valkyrie fans, it is game day. Game day. So we have the Connecticut Sun coming in. Go Valkyries. Go Valkyries. Okay, so we can't take this game lightly. Connecticut plays hard. They've lost some games big, but then they've lost some games like they went neck and neck with Dallas, and Dallas pulled away. Connecticut makes some mistakes that cost them games. So we just have to make sure that they continue making those mistakes. Not that I feel bad for Connecticut because they're trying hard and they're just not getting the wins. They just make some key mistakes at times where they'll get a steal and then they'll turn it over, or they'll get a steal and then they don't capitalize on it and they don't make the basket. To that stat of points off turnovers, they miss a lot of those, and that's why they're 2-11. I believe they're 2-11. So Marina Mabry is listed as game time decision because she tweaked her knee a little bit in the game the other day. They've played a lot of games and they're coming west. So, I know everybody's professional, but it does, I lived in Connecticut and I now live here in California, and I have made that flight, and there's definitely a jet lag that happens. And then you have different climates. It's hot and muggy back in Connecticut. Here you have, dry air, and, there are things that affect your body. So that could be in the Valkyries' favor. And given that we still are without our Eurobasket players, but it looks, someone posted something that Great Britain had lost, and they're playing today, and if they lose today, then Temi will be coming back. So she'll be back for the next game. But I was looking at some of the standings, and this is getting interesting. The Valkyries are 6th. And, it's interesting. Everyone's like, oh, it's a big surprise, big surprise. A little bit. But, if you really looked at the roster when they picked the roster, I was really excited when I saw this roster. I thought for an expansion team to pick up these players, they're all 6th players. Almost every one of them was a 6th player on these other teams. And now we've had these players come in and play like they did against the Fever. Just is wonderful. I mean, it's almost like I said it in my last video that, Natalie's going to have a issue when these players come back. And if Repair comes in, who are you going to keep? It's sad for some of these players that, they're making statements like, hey, I need to be a part of this team. And the other problem is that these other teams are going to see these players. And if we let them go, there's teams that are going to pick up these other players, because they're playing well. We're going to have to find a balance. But, given how we were playing with the people that are in Europe, you're not going to, Salon and Xander Lassini are going to be starters. They're really good players. So, and then you have Temi. Temi's playing it. Temi's terrific defensively. So let's have a look at the standings, because I wanted to talk a little bit about what's coming up. So we have the Valkyries at 6-6, head of the Fever, which, as they should be. They beat the Fever, so we should be ranked ahead of them, even though they have the same record. And then Seattle's ahead of us. They're 8-5. Seattle's playing Vegas today. That's going to be a tough game. If Seattle loses to Vegas, that would make them 8-6. That puts them one game ahead of us if we beat the Connecticut Sun, which we should beat Connecticut, barring any, I don't know, we'd have to have a really bad shooting night. And then ahead of them is the Atlanta Dream, and then you have Phoenix, the Liberty, and Minnesota. Now, the Liberty are going to be without Jungle Jones for 4 to 6 weeks. And then Phoebus is at Eurobasket. So it's definitely showing with New York. They're still a really good team, but they're beatable without those players. Because Stewie and Ionescu can only do so much. And if you shut one of the two of them down, which is not easy to do, but if you do that, New York's beatable. Minnesota, even without Collier, they still look really strong. I don't know if anybody's beaten Minnesota unless something happens with them. I mean, they could have a bad shooting night and someone could beat them, but that's a tall task. So you have the Fever at 6-6, and then Vegas is 5-7. So, if Vegas wins, then 6-7 there, and we win, so we'd be 7-6. So things are getting interesting. And when we come back, when all the players come back from Eurobasket, boy, other than maybe Minnesota, Phoenix is tough, though. I've been watching Phoenix play, and they're fully healthy now. They are looking good. Phoenix is looking good. Phoenix could give Minnesota a run for their money. So on to today's game. So you have the Connecticut Sun. What we're going to have to do is, their biggest threat is Tina Charles. And Tina Charles, even though I think she's 35 or 36, she's a threat. She was the one keeping them in the game, their last game. I think she had 29 points. So if we do what we did to Asia Wilson and pack the paint and keep her from hurting us, Connecticut has other players that could hurt you, but not to the effect that Tina Charles can. So, but they're tall down low. Nelson Adota and her are 6'5". And so we're going to have to deal with that. We're going to have to keep them out of the paint or double team them when they get in, like we've been doing. I mean, we've been doing good with that, even though we're shorter. I think Monique Billings she's 6'4", Ami here 6'3", but everybody else is like 6'2", 6'1". We're going to have to run the ball. But, Connecticut has good guards. J.C. Sheldon is very fast. Rivers has been impressive. She's like a lightning bug, scattering all over the place. But Connecticut hasn't put it together yet. And, we can't take them lightly. Should we win? Yeah, we should win, unless we shoot really bad. But if Marina Mabry goes on a heater, if she's playing, she can light it up from three. You got to put pressure on her and pressure on their guards. Bria Hartley's been their main point guard, and she has a tendency to dribble too much. So, our, fast hands, Veronica Burton, if she starts dribbling too much, Veronica Burton's going to pick her pocket. So, I mean, that's something she's got to improve on from what I've seen from Connecticut. But otherwise, should be a good game this afternoon. That's pretty much all I have for today. We'll be back after the game, and hopefully a very upbeat mood. Go Valkyries. Let's get another win at Ballhalla. And everyone enjoy the game. Let's have everybody get out of this healthy and happy with a win. Have a good day and enjoy the game.